it on. Know you wish you ever leave. I cheat up the river with Judas. Tearing down the barrel of his gun. Yes, he shot me down. I died and someone brought me back to life, but never to my senses. Pounce on that shit, dance. Pounce on that shit, dance.
Where's my music? All right, what is up? Welcome in. I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna move on what we're talking about. I see things going on. Can y'all be respectful to people in the chat? If y'all do come in, and I want y'all to please still support people, regardless you disagree or agree. All right, just that's all I'm gonna say. All right, now let's talk about this. I wanted to discuss this because I know everybody's been talking about Romeka and the situation. I haven't talked on it much. And a lot of people are feeling like she's still free because of a TPO. And we're gonna say that's not true. I want to break down some things. I don't know who got it, but I want to I want to specify some things. First of all, I just want to let y'all know, if you do watch the replay, I'm not gonna be on here long. I'm still bound to cough. I want to let you know she is not free because she didn't do anything wrong. She is free because this is by a decision by Illinois court and DA, like I said, and whoever y'all state attorney is, by law. This is not because you can. Another thing, there are laws in place if you are designed to carry. I was on Queen Feed Live. I said this, and I said this also on Krisha and Harmony speech. Shout out to them. Their husbands both said the same thing. I want to explain something to y'all. I'm not sure if Illinois is a, what you call it. Let me see. Let me ask first before I say this. Because okay, so Illinois is one of the three largest states that considerably supports Democrat Party federal candidates, and alongside California and New York. So yes, this is why. Now, if it was a red state, but they have different laws, and the reason I say that is because let's say it's a red state, Texas or Florida, no matter what, if it's red or blue, you still do that, right? And our California laws are a little different, a little tricky. We're gonna break that down. Virginia is an at-will state, so whatever the judge want to throw out, that's what it is. Okay, Maryland, same thing. She is not free because of that. She is free because of the law. Now, I stated, this is what I stated, and this is true. And others have stated this. If she had made a 911 call as a retreat, it would show this, that she was in fear for her life, if she was not. Another thing I want y'all to look at, let me go back to, and a lot of people are starting to see that because the laws are changing, right? We have known that even though it is a blue state, they are doing things of laws to protect everybody. So if it's Texas, Texas is different. Well, I just say that because I'm here. Texas is different. Yeah, they have stand your ground, but she still has to follow them laws to go with it. Now, they're saying that she went and got her license to carry, which is correct. But y'all, and I'm finna show you this. Let me share my screen because this is so important. But there's things that she has to know the laws in place to get that license to carry. And it's right here. Give me a minute. Hold on. Okay. We all know that she probably got it from a different state, and I'm going to look that up too. But if you are in Illinois, this is what it is. You have a card to show that you are, and you carry it. You cannot carry it out. You can, and listen what it says. State bans the sale and possession of assault and high capacity magazines require a waiting period for purchases and mandates safe storage. So the thing is, this will have to be in her glove compartment, or she needs a holster. That's another thing. Okay, you putting it out, leaving it all willy nilly. Yeah, no, that's against the law. It is needed to carry in a public or in a vehicle. You have a 72-hour waiting period, and it is between the purchase of a firearm and taking possession of it. All firearm sales include private transactions, require background check and documentation. You have to have your documentation. Illinois does not have a statewide firearm registration requirement, with the exception of the new requirement to register assault weapon. Okay, I just want y'all to look at that. Now we're going to go to where she is from, which a lot of people say she's from Cheese State. That's all I can say. Let me look it up. And this is where it get tricky, y'all. This is where it get tricky. This is tricky. I'm looking at it. I want y'all to read it. This is tricky. Y'all ready? Wisconsin is not a constitutional carry state. A permit is required for concealed carry of handguns and certain other weapons. Open carry is legal without a license for individuals of 18 and older, provided they are not legally prohibited from possessing a firearm. Background checks are required for handgun purchases, and certain individuals are prohibited from owning guns. If you have a misdemeanor, domestic violence, or internet in the state of Wisconsin, you cannot get a weapon. You can't get one at all. Hey, Lyric, you can't get one. A Wisconsin weapons license, a CWL, is required to carry stun gun or billy club concealed. You must be 21 years old to apply. You don't have to, non-residents can carry a concealed in Wisconsin if they have a license from a state that Wisconsin honors. And we're going to go look at that. Oh, we finna look at that. And we finna see if Illinois has the same as well. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Prohibited locations, certain places such as schools, courthouse, and federal buildings. Now, I was just telling y'all, certain states are passing laws the same as this. Florida just passed a state law that you can bring it, but you cannot have it inside the courtroom. And yes, we talked about that. They done took certain laws away in certain states now. Okay, we already said why. You have to have a background check is required. Individuals convicted of a felony or certain domestic violence misdemeanors are prohibited from possessing a firearm. Minors under 18 cannot possess a firearm unless they're with a parent or guardian or a target or in a training course. So they do have training courses, right? All right, now let me stop sharing. Let me ask this question. Okay, so we're going to look at Illinois' strict to carry law, and then we're going to go deeper because I want y'all to see this. And then we're going to go to TikTok, and I'm going to find out things so they can explain it. Illinois has some of the strictest gun laws in the country, which include requiring a license to buy, waiting periods, and ban on certain items. So they give you a list of what you can do. Now, hold on. Oh no, that's the wrong thing. I hit the wrong thing. Boom. Here y'all go. Thank you. Hey, Terry. Thank you. I'm going to read it. This is where the tricky gets tricky. This is where it gets sticky. Illinois does not recognize carry permits from other states. But residents with a valid permit may transport a Pew handgun in a vehicle through the state, provided it is unloaded in a locked container. Wisconsin recognized concealed carry permits from other states that have comparable laws and meet specific criteria, such as background checks. Illinois residents need a firearm in criminal history, right? But they need, Illinois, they need a firearm owner's identification card to own firearms or ammunition in the state. They do not recognize concealed carry license from other states. A person must have an Illinois firearm owner's identification card to possess firearms and ammunition. Non-residents transportation. Then we say they got to be in a locked container. Permit requirements. The applicant home state must have laws that are comparable to Illinois' requirements, which includes prohibiting those involuntarily committed to mental health facilities and reported to nationwide database. So basically, what they did, I'm going to tell you what they did, and this is why it's under investigation. Two things. She probably had her paperwork, right? But let's be clear. The reason why it's under investigation is because of the fact is they're comparing the laws. They're looking at not just what happened, but they're looking at how did she break the law. Let's see if you are concealed to carry. What are the laws? Well, we might as well say both Illinois and Wisconsin because they're saying that's where she's from, right? So let's put them all together of what you can do. I hope I spelled it right. I probably didn't, y'all. Oh, no, I did. Okay. So we did that, right? So these are the states. They do not. This is why. And I'm not saying this to make nobody upset, but they're still investigating because it all ties in because every state has different laws. When carrying a concealed firearm for self-defense in Illinois and Wisconsin, it's crucial to understand that their laws differ significantly, particularly regarding whatever can happen, okay? Illinois does not recognize any other state concealed permits as valid for an out-of-state resident to carry concealed in Illinois, except those from a limited list of states. If she was from Arkansas, Idaho, Mississippi, Nevada, Texas, and Virginia, who license standards are deemed substantially similar. Wisconsin is not on the list, meaning a Wisconsin resident cannot use their WI permit to carry a concealed in Illinois. She had no right for that. And that's why it was said in that report that they lived together. Because she had to make it seem like she lived in Illinois. It's black and white. It's black and white. Open carry is not permitted in Illinois, so you can't have it out all willy-nilly. In Wisconsin, you can. This is why they're looking at this. A valid CCL required must also have a card. Yes, a CCL license required for concealed carry, both for the age of 21, but let's look at the difference. This is why they say, no, we got to make sure, because the laws for both of self-defense are different than what it is here. Self-defense law, both states have laws governing the use of force in self-defense, defense of dwelling, and defense of other property. These specific legal standards should be understood in detail about carrying, as they dictate when force is legally justified. It was not legally justified what she did because, as we heard, the girl was far away. It wasn't legally justified. It was not legally justified. And that's why they're looking into that. Because they're looking, okay, when we're finding out you're from here, because they're going to look at, I'm going to keep it real. When she did that protective order, they're looking at two things. Was it from here or was it from the next state? If it was from the next state, we're going to have to look into these laws, because something is, we don't do certain things here, but they do. So let's look into it. That's why it's still open. Okay, this is why I said what I said on Queen Fee. She's going to get something, because what they're doing is they're analyzing everything. I ain't make up the rules. They did. I believe Wisconsin is a red state. Yeah, Illinois is not. Their laws are different by state attorney, whoever is over your state. So all that, well, it's the same. No, it's not. It depends on who is over your state. They make these decisions. Like with Virginia, when we talked about oh girl, calling on no girl. Yes. Yes. It matters. That is why. So no. Okay. All right. So let me look up the rules for if you are concealed. Let's go to somebody to explain it. I'm going to play some videos. And I was hearing someone say that they believe it was going to be the feds. And I've been telling y'all I believe that too. And the reason I believe that, because what they got going on. And number two, the feds already want to take control of certain things in certain states. I have explained this to y'all. That's what it matters. So if the feds swoop in, and you got to understand, a lot of people say, oh, this was messed up. I'm going to tell you why people feel like it was messed up. And I'm going to break it down to you. They are changing who is in the police force. And I want y'all to pay attention to that. So y'all got to understand, and whoever is investigating on this and taking their time, half of these folks ain't getting paid, baby. I'm just being honest. So it's going to take forever, but they're still going to do it. Shout out to Romeka Meets family, who is still marching. every Tuesday, and they're doing the right thing. And I'm going to tell you why. The state attorney is paying attention to that. They're out here fighting. They're marching. We have to make a difference. We have to do something. That is what they're paying attention to. Trust me, that DA is looking at different laws. Don't sit here and say, oh, it's done. No, 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 baby. She doing her homework. I guarantee you. And I would hate for anybody to be on this case, because I'm telling you now, ain't no quick time. Ain't no quick time at all. That's why that lady, I was like, why she ain't saying that? She not saying nothing because she's investigating and she's doing her job. If they talk and they do this and it was quick, it's over. But the more they stay on it and the more they do what they're supposed to do, she's doing her job. Because I'm going to tell you this. If it come into a fair thing, she's going to have to stay on it now. She's going to have to. And I'm going to tell you another thing with these state attorneys. The reason why they stand on this, most of their jobs, if they don't do what they're supposed to and stay on their job, we know what's happening. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Let me go. All right, I'm going to play this man right here.
Dave McDermott here, McDermott Law Group. Not your typical attorneys, guys. Number one, duty retreat. Duty retreat law is basically exactly what it sounds like. If in fact you are being attacked, you first have an affirmative obligation to try to get away from your attacker, to try to run from your attacker before being able to defend yourself. Number two, castle doctrine. Castle doctrine exists in certain states, and castle doctrine can change from state to state, but always whenever there's a castle doctrine, there is an assumption that if in fact you are being attacked in your home, you are within your right to defend your...
It wasn't castle doctrine. She didn't do duty to retreat because we heard what happened. The autopsy report said what happened. She didn't do that. Okay, so let me tell you what she was supposed to do. I'm finna break it down. I'm finna tell it like, I'm gonna give you a scenario. Let's say I'm driving a car. I see someone I got a on. It could be an ex, it could be an ex-friend, whatever, right? And they're pulling over, or we are, do this. I'm at McDonald's, sitting down, having a good time eating with a friend. I see you come in. You walk in. I don't say anything. I say, y'all, let's get ready to go. You see me. Listen to the scenario. You see me. You all da-da-da-da-da. You know what? No, I ain't doing that. You act like you finna run up on me. Somebody push you back. I walk out. I'm retreating. I'm going somewhere else. I'm going out. I'm leaving. You hop in the car, follow me to the gas station. You are sitting here, act like you about to fight me, do whatever. 911, how may I help you? Hi, I have such and such. Blase squaze, stay on the phone. I'm being threatened. Or this and that. She did not do that. That's another form of retreat as well. The 911, she did not call. She went, as they say, put it on the car and did what she did. We saw she was far away. There was no residue on the victim. There was no residue at all. This is why everybody say she going to jail. I wish I could contact, I don't even know if she up, she probably out. Attorney Simone Redwine, I'm going to have a message with her. And what I'm going to do on the next one, because I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to let her come up here and explain to you how that could happen. And after this, I'm going to play a clip where Ebony says, and nobody want to talk about this, it depends on your state attorney, whoever it is in the laws for your state. No, this is not just a sweep thing. No. The reason why Kai got off was because he was at the home and that was the residence. They had videotapes of what he did. There is no videotapes of her doing that to her. It's not going to stand. And another thing, if she's saying that she went to criminal justice law, I'm here to tell you she's in trouble. Baby, I'm gonna say this. If I was her, I would take a plea deal. Cause ain't no way of getting out of this. It's not one. You might as well take a plea deal. You take it to trial, they're going to can you. If they ever come and say, baby, we got to lock you up, take a deal. Because that you can't get out of this. It don't add up to the law. That is the law. That is what Illinois has. It don't go by different cities. These are state laws. In Florida, that lady could have got off if she went into her home, but because they had trails that she was harassing the children and she was making racist remarks, and she did that and took that boy iPad, yes, and hit the boy in the face, might I add you, yes, she went to jail. Florida don't play that. Yes. So a lot of what y'all got to understand, a lot of people try to use to stay in your ground as of, oh, yay, I can. No. There are laws in place for you to follow to not just protect you, protect people as well as yourself. And if you do not follow those, yes, you do get time. They are not playing. Because people are taking it and saying, oh, I can protect. No, they are not playing with you. In the state of Texas, the same thing. Just like I saw in Houston, the girl got spit on. If she would have had a weapon because he spit on her and did something to him, she would have had that right. But if he would have did it to her and claim it was self-defense, he would be in jail. Yeah. Regardless, these laws are in place for that because they knew when they had these conversations at your Congress, they have these conversations every day. Hey, while they have these, it happens every day, and your state attorneys get notified.
Defend yourself with lethal force. And number 3 is stand your ground law. Stand your ground law is what it sounds like as well. Stand your ground law basically means that you can, in fact, stand your ground. Stay exactly where you're at when you're being attacked, assuming you're there lawfully. In other words, you can't break into somebody's house and be attacked by the person that owns the house and then say, you know what, I have the right to stand my ground. But as long as you're there lawfully, you can, in fact, stand where you are, remain where you are, rather, and defend yourself against this attacker without having any obligation to retreat or get to a place.
Did you hear him say, pull up on somebody and you know where they at? He did not say that. He didn't say that.
Of safety. Now, which one is Illinois?
Come on.
If you guess number 1, many people guess that as well. That is incorrect, crazy enough. If you guess number 2, that is accurate. We do have a version of Castle Doctrine in the state of Illinois. If you guess number 3, which people are like, there's no way it's number 3, it actually is number 3 as well. So it's a trick question when I say which one is it, because crazy enough, 2 of these different categories apply here in the state of Illinois. Now, despite the fact that the lawmakers, the legislators have not in fact adopted an actual stand your ground law statute, the Supreme Court of Illinois, the appellate courts of Illinois have held that if in fact you are being attacked in a place where you're legally entitled to be, you can in fact stand your ground.
She wasn't entitled to be there. I'm going to tell you why. She thought she was entitled to be there. She was not. She know where that boy go pick up where that girl go pick up they son from. She know she got to go a certain way. She was not entitled to be there. I don't care how you flip it, script it, spread it wide. She was not entitled. And that's where y'all missing the point. It's tricky. Like he said, it's tricky. It is. There's a but let's be clear. When you got your thing, depends on where she filed. I don't know where exactly. I don't know what state she filed it in, but they're going to look at that too, because they're going to be like, wait a minute. But I'm going to tell you how they're looking at it. Wait, he's enrolled in his school. This is where he go to school at. So They stay way down the street. Let's say 5-10 minutes from the school. Why are you right there when you could have got there? That's what they're finna look at. I'm telling you. Let me tell you something. I'm telling you. Let me see. Let me stop sharing. Let me see if I can get a lawyer perspective. Let me see. Let me see if there's a lawyer that could talk on this. Dang it. I wish she was available. I'm gonna see when she's available. We can go live because I'm gonna have to send. I need to send all that stuff. Where is she at? It's this person I'm looking for. Okay. This is a lawyer in Chicago.
I'm a criminal defense attorney in Chicago, and I saw an attorney break down King Von's lyrics from this point, and I wanted to give a Chicago point of view because his analysis was based off of a state that has a duty to retreat. And I'm not sure if everyone knows this, but Illinois is a stand your ground state. So let's break down these lyrics from a Chicago point of view, because we all know Von was from Chicago, and that's where he allegedly got down. So okay, so boom. What he didn't catch in this, the other attorney that I would like to catch, is Vaughn is dropping this young lady off. She comes back to get her phone. Obviously, she's a stripper and there's something going on. He peeps somebody in a car beforehand. He don't pay no mind to it. And so she comes back out, but before she can get to the car, he sees this man start beating her up. That's going to be important. Okay, now that's important because he has a legal reason to be there. So he's watching this man beat up this woman. So now we already have a power structure, because everyone knows, weapons aside, a man is biologically stronger than a woman. So now this woman is at a disadvantage. Now he's there because he's allowed to be there. He was invited by the girl. He still has the girl's phone. So he has a reason to still be there. At this point, there's no reason for him to pull off because she still needs her phone.
It was 2 women and a man. You heard what she just said. Huh? Flip that situation. Huh?
So as she's trying to get to his car, she's attacked by a man. All right, let's continue. She run to my car, so I hit the lock for her phone. So shorty, I'm gone, bitch, you on your own. The other lawyer mentioned was that he might have had a duty to retreat. This is why I don't think he had a duty to retreat. In Illinois, it is a stand your ground state. A duty to retreat is a castle doctrine. That is not the doctrine in Illinois. In Illinois, if you can prove that someone is the first aggressor, then you have the right to stand your ground. Now here, he does make an act to take himself out of the situation. He locks the doors. So in a sense, that is not him actively being.
The laws don't write themselves. Listen to what she just said. She would have had the right to pull off. Not do that. The right to pull off. Continue.
being a part of this altercation, he's trying to protect himself, which he has the right to do by locking the doors.
Baby, that sounds like Gotham City.
However, the situation escalates. Okay, hold on. So now he's in a locked car minding his business. Okay, Vaughn is minding his business. And this man picks up a weapon.
Was there any weapon pulled out from Romeka to Holly? Did she go to her car?
A brick, okay? A brick is I don't believe, and I don't believe that the law in Illinois suggests that one has to get hurt in order to defend themselves. They can also defend themselves from a reasonable apprehension of an assault. So this man, King Von, locks his doors, and this man takes his attention off of the girl he's already beating up, grabs a brick and throws it through a glass window. So now you have brick and glass, and you have this man becoming the initial aggressor. So now he has initiated a situation with King Von where somebody who hears brick and glass would believe that their great bodily harm at least is imminent. You do not need to believe that somebody is about to kill you in order to match their force with reasonable force. So if you throw a brick in my car and glass shatters everywhere after I already locked the car and did not get into this fight that of a man with a woman, now what am I to do?
Blinking, I don't miss. I let off 2 shots, I hit him in his shit. Now Bunty quick, what you finna do? Cause this gon' make the news. Gotta make your
good as a lawyer. Oh my gosh, she remind me of Simone Redwine. I have to have her up here for y'all to see this.
Boom. So now at this point, the other lawyer says that King Von had 2 choices. He could have stayed in the car and he could have left. And that calls into question, does King Von in this situation have a duty to retreat? Or is he allowed to stand his ground and protect himself with reasonable force to a brick being thrown into a window, glass shattering a window in a car that he already locked himself into because it's an indication and an act that he did not want to participate in this conflict. So he is not the initial aggressor. This man is, okay? So he gets out the car with his gun and he shoots twice.
Now, when we sat here and read the report, I'm going to say the report, they were far away. She was not doing anything to where she did not have, you heard what she said. He could have left because he locked his door and he didn't do anything to him, right? That is the same scenario. And that's where y'all not understanding. She just said it. And if I get the lawyer that I want to have up here, she's going to say the same thing. She could have left. She didn't, nobody hit her, nobody touched her. Well, they fought. It was marks. How do we know that? When reports said that how many feet they were away and there were no residue on her. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you hit somebody and you up close, that residue from what they is going to get onto that person. And that is true. Because if you pay attention when somebody up close to do something, that residue is there on them and on you.
He doesn't empty the clip. He don't got to switch. He don't stand up in front on top of him and shoot him execution style.
The laws don't write themselves.
He shoots him twice, enough to get him out of the way. The girl gets back in the car, right? And that's something that we also didn't consider in the other video. In Illinois, there's not just a self-defense right, but there's a right to defend a third person. And this is the type of question I like to pose in front of juries, because King Von he didn't have a choice. He either was going to pull off on this girl and leave her with a man who was already beating her ass.
Now take the situation as 2 women and a man. I'm still trying to figure out what the arguments are for. She just said it. Because she was a woman and it was another man. He had every right to defend that woman. Yeah, the laws don't write themselves. The laws don't write themselves. And they have reason for these laws. I'm going to go to her page after this.
And threw a brick into a car. And so therefore he could have been a bitch. Or he stays and he protects himself and herself with reasonable force enough for them to retreat from this man that is the first aggressor. So the question is
this is why, and I'm going to be honest, this is why they keep bringing up past stuff. It doesn't operate into that situation, because I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, they're looking at both past, but I'm going to tell you what the judge going to say. Okay, well, does that offense to what it is now? Okay, well, have she ever been around them or da-da-da? Oh, okay. Well, we're not going to use that. I'm telling you what they're going to do, because I sat here and watched the whole Diddy trial. Remember they tried that same thing? Well, listen, we can't use that because that is an offense to what we're getting to right now. Huh? I'm telling you. So when they get ready, they're going to say, can you tell the jurors not to use such and such and such and such? Yeah, that doesn't, it's up to the judge. Yeah, I don't think that fits, you know. When they go over, they're going to have the person who did the autopsy report say everything. 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 Those videos, yeah, we understand why. I mean, we pulled that up. We're not going to use that. That has nothing to that person in this situation. I'm telling you how it's going to go. I done been in enough courtrooms. I done been enough. Let me tell you something. Trust me. I've heard enough lawyers have discussions that you are surprised. And that's why I say whoever is over this case, baby, it's going to be a long ride. It's a long ride.
2 gunshots, reasonable force to eliminate this situation. So not only can he protect himself with a conflict he did not initiate, but also protect this young woman who's getting her ass beat by a man. Okay, so now he pulls off and he leaves and he gets them both out of there. So
I'm gonna see if I can get a contact with her. I'm gonna ask her. I don't know if she posted about this situation. If I can't get the other one, I'm gonna ask her, because I know she was stated. Because let me tell you something. One thing about lawyers, and I'm here to tell you, they don't just know the law. They know for a fact the things that they can use. It depends if you have a good lawyer, and good lawyers are going to tell you. I don't know if she spoke on this. I'm looking through her page, y'all, because I'm trying to see if she spoke on this situation, since she is in Chicago, and see if she spoke on it. Most attorneys have not, but let me see. Hold on, y'all. I got a cough. Give me a minute. That's why I say it's tricky, because did I take it off mute? Okay. It's tricky because if she was part of the altercation, yes. But from what we saw, she was not. She was not. And I really believe that she had walked away Let me see. Hold on, y'all. And I believe that's how that happened. Let me play this person. Hey, Lasanda.
If someone is threatening your life or is robbing your house, you have to run and hide
I said it low because I was trying not to cough. Hey, Miss Lasanda, I'm sorry.
or run, try to retreat or de escalate the situation first before you blow them down.
Yes, in a public setting, yes. That's why she should have called 911. She was supposed to get away. But from what we saw, she wasn't up close to her.
Even if they've already entreated on your rights. Fuck no.
Yeah, that's the law. And that is the law. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Well, she'll probably tell you the reason why. It's another lawyer going to explain the same thing, all black and white.
Exception to self-defense, which is the duty to retreat. This requires that someone try to withdraw from a threat of harm before responding back. Typically, they only have to.
Here's the thing. She didn't have a weapon. Like we just saw the other lawyer say, using King Von's song, when King Von said he threw a brick in. Yeah, it was finna go down. She didn't have no weapon. She didn't pick up anything. She didn't do any of that. That's where it draws the line. And nobody wants to talk about that. She did not do that. She was aggressive. Okay. Yes. But I'm going to tell you what the judge going to see. And I'm going to explain it to you. Okay, she is a CNA. Well, obviously, for her to be a CNA in the past, because you cannot have any felonies. Trust me, you cannot. My mother went from a CNA to a pharmacy tech. You cannot. You cannot. So obviously, she was okay. You can't have, well, she did this, she did that, she moved, she changed. Okay, what was the problem? Well, they were arguing online. Okay. Do they live by each other? Do they see each other? Well, no. So what was the issue? Now you got to get to the bottom. They can't just bring in something without hardcore evidence, because I'm telling you, the judge say, I need more than that. We're going to need more than that to build a case. That's just the state law. We got to get more than that. Okay, we got this. We got that. We still going to need some more. Let's get some more. Let's see what we can find out what they're doing.
To try to withdraw if two elements are met. One, if there is a safe avenue of escape, and two, if the person is consciously aware that that avenue exists. Some states have laws that require an exception to self-defense, which is the duty to retreat. This requires that someone try to withdraw from a threat of harm before responding back. Typically, they only have to try to withdraw if two elements are met. One, if there is a safe avenue of escape, and two, if the person is consciously aware that that avenue exists. Some states have laws that require an exception to.
Yep. Yep. I mean, it's right there, y'all. So it's still ongoing. Hold on, let me see something. You know, when Jussie Smollett, y'all remember when he did that false thing, and I see this a pattern with Chicago. Hey, when he said, "Oh, I got beat on," and they released him, everybody was mad about that. And I feel like they released to investigate, and then they indicted him when they got what they needed. So I think this is that. Now they saying this a no bond state also. So I'm gonna let this play. Just like when we talked about Miss Thompson, she was released until further investigation. She was. And she got picked back up. Yeah. Hold on, let me. All right. Some people say she did not get released on bond.
To do a video about the bond laws in Illinois, because a lot of people have been saying once Quadeja is arrested, or if she's arrested, she will be held because it is a no bond state. So you say we are a no bond state. It has been said that she has connections to the police department. The statements on the report was enough to charge her, and no, the attorney should not be in the room during the grand jury indictment. So here's what I want to let you guys know. Illinois is a state that got rid of the cash bond requirement back in 2023.
Yep.
And a lot of people have taken that to mean that if you get arrested, then you can't get out because it's no bond. Now, although this is an irritant to Romeka Meeks supporters, such as myself and other people, to learn this information, but let me break this down for you. The fact that it's no bond just means it's no cash bond. When and if Quadeja is arrested for any charges related to this, the prosecutor would have to file some sort of a motion to ask for detention, to detain her during the pretrial process. To do so, they would have to convince the court that she's either a present threat to someone or that she runs a risk of fleeing. If those two elements, or either one or the other, cannot be established by the argument on behalf of the state, she can be released on pretrial. She can be given what they call pretrial release with no bail. So I don't want people to get it confused when we say no bail. That does not mean no release. No bail does not equal no release. No bail just means.
And y'all got to be careful with that, because when I sat here and told y'all they were trying to take away cash bonds, some states do go by that as a release and some don't. And I've also said that some people just be sitting in there and some won't, because there are different laws being in place. It goes with the whole political thing, baby. It all ties together. Hey, Teresa, it all ties together. You'll be surprised. So that's why when I told y'all the plan to change laws in place, we'll talk about it on another day, but she is right. They took theirs away in 2023. I'm not sure what other states have. So you have to have like a card, or you can't have cash, because usually I know in Georgia you can bond yourself out with cash or a card. Florida the same. They take card. You can bond yourself out. So you can have a bondsman come, take the card, take cash, whatever, come in, do that, and you out the door.
That you no longer have to give up funds to get out. There are other means for you to be released while you're going through the pretrial process. This was done like as a way to bridge the gap between people who have money versus people who don't.
Exactly.
So they're just looking at each case holistically and making a decision.
So remember I told y'all, I'm pausing because I got to explain it. Remember I told y'all that in Washington, he took that away for the people who basically that were homeless. He was arresting the orange man, and they agreed to that because they can't get out with cash. They don't have a car. They don't have things. How they going to get out? They got to wait. Yeah. That's what they're doing. Oh, either you got it or you don't. If you so they're basically trying to say like, and that's why y'all see the Chicago man say, hold on. Like, wait a minute, because you're going a little too far. We talked about that as well. They're trying to put it as if you broke and ain't got it if you got cash. I never heard no shit like that, folks. I never heard no shit. I ain't never heard no shit like that, folks.
Should this individual be out based on the current threat that they pose, if any, and also just based on their intentions to flee, or if you feel like you can prove they're going to flee. So we could talk about this jury down in the comments. This is not going to make a lot of people happy because people think no bond means she can't get out, and that is simply a false representation of it. Not saying you, Akila, is false representing it. Just saying that a lot of people believe that's what it means, and it does not. She
Right.
can still be released on
Exactly.
pretrial release with no bail. So what are we thinking about this down in the comments? Let's talk about it, you guys. Do you think that Quadeja is at a risk?
I believe it is a pre-trial. I really do. And that's why I feel like it's not over. Oh, she talk a lot about this. Let's talk about it. Let's go to this part. Oh, she's really. Hold on now. She got some OT. Come on, let's come on with it. Also,
Intended on going live on this app. I'm feeling like I might have to, and here's why. The DMs I've been getting about the Romeka Meeks case, in my opinion, saying that the case is going to the grand jury has people razzled. People are frazzled, razzled. People are in an uproar. Some telling me that it's ridiculous for me to continue it on. It's hurting Quadeja's family for me to keep talking about this case when it's clearly closed. That's what the people are saying, y'all. Do y'all want me to go live so we could really sit here and break down this case from a bunch of perspectives, have people come in, draft up a little panel, and we could sit here and really discuss this, because I won't stop talking about it. So I'm just wondering, do I need to escalate this to a live once a week, one time, just to talk to some of these people who are hiding behind these pages and just have a real dialogue about what the evidence actually says and debunk some of the things that
I thought she was talking more about it, but yeah. Would you be interesting? Sure. I sure will. Hold on, y'all, because I didn't know she's talked about this a lot. Wait a minute.
Okay, you guys. So there is a mugshot going around of Quadeja Johnson in the Romeka Meeks case, and it is showing that she was charged with M. And people are like, "What is this? Like, is she charged right now?" Let me take a minute to break this down as to what my understanding is that this is from, and why this is circulating, and why she was allegedly charged at one point. So, as you'll remember, she was on the scene.
Her name is Deja. I think that's how you say it. She's on TikTok. That's her name. She's been covering it, and she's saying that she's getting harassed. So it is kind of, I already felt my theory about this harassment, but
when Romeka was unalived and the witnesses pointed her out as the individual who was responsible for it. At that time, that leaves a responsibility to the officers on duty to take her into custody. And they did that. They took her into custody. And obviously, whatever interview she gave, whatever Lo said, they took that information at face value after holding her for that period of time that they had held her for, and decided to release her with no charges at that time. That does not mean that there won't be any charges at another time. And so I believe that they're waiting to bring this up to the grand jury, and that's the reason why she was not actually charged.
Did I tell y'all that? Because they're weighing where she's from in here. The laws are completely different.
Right then and there. So that mugshot is a reflection of her being charged on that day and being held for the time that she was held for while they attempted to build the case. Obviously, they couldn't do it in the time that they were given, so they're probably still investigating now, but they still had to follow the law and let her go if they weren't going to formally charge her within that time frame.
Absolutely.
So right now they're investigating, you guys. It's going to the grand jury. I truly believe that. So that is what's happening right now. So that mugshot is a representation of what happened that day, and they could not make that case within that period of time. So she was let go for now. Keep in mind, everybody, there is no statute of limitation on M. So it could come at any point in time, and they are certainly strengthening that.
It could come this year, next year, the year. There is no statute of limitations when it comes to that charge. The only statute of limitations they have or armed robbery, dang it, it's something else, and certain things, battery and all of that. There is no statute of limitations to that charge. So it can come anytime. Now, I'm going to explain something to you. Let's say armed robbery, right? They're looking for you. You did something. You robbed a bank. You have a certain statute of limitations in your state. Now, what they can do is try to get you close to that time to see if they could do something. But if not, they have to let it go, and you could turn yourself in and be like, listen, it's over the statute of limitations. We have to throw this out. When it comes to unaliving, no. They don't give a darn. We have seen a man, it was a man that just got locked up for a 25-year-old unaliving. He did 25 years ago. It came out when they investigated all the new technology. I think it was like 25 to 30 years. You know, technology and crime has updated. They did a full investigation. They realized where he lived. That man say, yeah, I sure did unalive that woman. I did it. He is serving life right now. There's no statute of limitations.
That case, I believe that in my heart. What do you guys believe? What do you think about this mugshot? Will we be seeing mugshot number 2 with the actual charges coming out real soon? Sound off in the comments.
I believe soon.
Okay, guys, about the Romeka Meeks case, I have so much to add to the discussion today, and I wanted to respond to this comment from Kels, who says the DA has to file the charges, and she's 100% right. A DA would have to be the one that would get the warrant and file the charges at this point, since there was no arrest made on site. However, you guys, I know you've seen my previous videos where I talked about thinking that charges are coming. I'm starting to wonder, and let me just tell you. So I started going down the rabbit hole and doing some type of, research on this whole situation, on Romeka, on Quadeja, on Los, on the whole situation, hearing from both sides, family members and different things like that, and what they've been saying. Additionally, I've had some of my jury members, my followers, get in my DM and give me more information. And so upon looking at everything, I have some concerns, you guys. I'm concerned. So I'm being told that on this particular day that Quadeja, which is the young lady who unalived Romeka, did not ride to the school with Los like people originally reported, but that they lived on that same block, and that this incident did not take place at the school, but it, however, took place up the street, which is apparently at Los, the child's father's house. So apparently Los and Quadeja had his son that he shares with Romeka, and he was dropped off at the school. At some point, Romeka comes to bring.
I'm not going to play that whole thing because that came to find out that wasn't true. The mother said no, she had him that night. The mother did say that in a news conference. She did. I played it for y'all. She did. Hold on, let me start sharing. Let me find another. She did say that. The mother did come out and say it on a news conference. That's what it was. Hold on, y'all. He did not. That wasn't true. All right, so she gonna explain to y'all how this self-defense work, and then we're gonna get up on out of here.
Mika's case really quick, but not as it pertains to the grand jury indictment. I've been looking at comments and people have inboxed me saying, oh, well, she's gotten self-defense and she's been given self-defense and all these other weird ways of explaining what's going on. And it's tickling me only in the sense that a lot of people are thinking that because she's not in custody, that she somehow has been granted some sort of magic self-defense pill. And it doesn't work like that. The young lady is free because of the fact that at the time that she was held and arrested, she had a couple of things that she was able to share with law enforcement, which was the protective order that she has, and the fact that she had the legal right to have that firearm, and her saying that she felt threatened. Those elements there can slow down probable cause being determined. You can't arrest people if you don't have probable cause. You have to have a reason to arrest them. Now, as they gather everything up and they continue to investigate this case, that is when they decide if it's going to a grand jury, which they have obviously decided according to the young lady Quadeja's family, and according to what I certainly believe, in my opinion, that it's going to the grand jury. So there are times where you can commit a crime and you may not be arrested right away. They may not be able to figure everything out in that moment. So if they don't have probable cause for an arrest, okay, then they cannot just hold you because they feel like it. They have to have a probable cause for an arrest. And they did not have immediate probable cause to arrest her. They did take her into custody, talked to her, held her, did what they need to do, talk to her, and they realized that they did not have probable cause at that time. So what happens is they have to continue to investigate. And as they investigate, they determine if they want to let the grand jury decide, which in this case, I believe that's exactly what they are doing. So it's not that she was granted self-defense. You don't just get granted something like a genie in a bottle. You can say that you acted in self-defense, but the evidence has to support that. And we won't know if the evidence actually supports that until it goes to a grand jury. Now, come on, y'all. People are talking about Quadeja on every page I scroll on and what she did and calling her out for it. Do you guys believe that that young lady would sit there and let everyone have a false opinion about her and just spread stuff and say that she did this and did that, and she would not get up here and talk to us directly at least one time and say, listen, quiet the noise. I'm not going to anybody's court. I'm not getting arrested. I've already been cleared and I can do what I want, say what I want. What happened, happened, and I acted in self-defense. Now y'all have a good day. She's not saying that because she knows that this case is going to the grand jury and it's not a closed investigation. So we have to kind of start reading in between the lines and just reading in general, because if you read, you will get a lot of information that will help you out to understand exactly how this whole situation works. But even she herself is not saying that she's in the clear. So we have to chill with the narrative of like she got self-defense, she was granted self-defense. You can't get granted anything. You can say that it was self-defense, and if the evidence supports that, then so be it. But if it does not and it ends up at a grand jury,
I said that the whole time. Just because she claiming her auntie claim is, oh Lord, it's self-defense. It's not self-defense. I'm sorry. I just read to y'all, and we just had a lawyer, 2 of them, break down everything in her. No, it's not self-defense.
Jury, then a grand jury might find that you didn't act in self-defense, and now you're heading on to the pretrial process. So you guys, let's talk in the comments. Have you been hearing this whole she got self-defense thing and people just running with the narrative because she's out here and free, that nothing else can occur? I don't know why people just haven't looked around and seen other cases.
I want to say this. I know, and I said this before, I know we see somebody running the country with a felony. Plenty of them. I know we see it. I understand. I know, man. I get it. But she is not going to be clear to walk away from this. I know it looks like, dang, I know it felt like a win, but it's not. Civilians still have to abide by the law. Okay? Just because you see that man, that orange palm color man get away, don't mean it's the same for us. OJ had to still go to trial, baby. And another thing, it came out that OJ wasn't the one that did it. It was the maintenance man. That done came out too. He already locked up. Let me explain something to y'all. You still got to abide by the law, no matter who you are. I know we see other people get less time and feel like because who they are, they're not going to win it. But I want you to understand what is really going on. This is why I be telling y'all, please don't do nothing. Don't mess up nothing. Because just because you feel like they got away don't mean you going to get away. It don't work like that, baby. It just don't. It's never been like that.
Where people can be free for some time and then the investigation reveals or a grand jury decides that they should be indicted. So let's just talk about that, and y'all let me know what y'all think.
When it came to Diddy indictment, that was a grand jury in the federal courts. Remember we talked about Jarvis Butts. He had a grand jury. He didn't even have the pretrial or anything, right? They indicted that, yet when they went through everything, they decided, hey, yeah, he got to go. Like, we got to take this to the jury trial, man. This is what it is. Remember his pretrial? Then he had a pretrial. They came to the attention that, yeah, this is what it looked like. So I want to show y'all what the grand jury consists of and how it go, because right? Because I want y'all to know these are citizens. These are your people that stay in your county. These are your typical lunch ladies, your typical school teachers, regular day citizens, right? People that pay that do their tax dollars. This is what it consists of, right? So a grand jury consists of 16 to 23 citizens selected at a random to serve for a term, usually up to 18 months. They're responsible for reviewing the evidence presented by prosecutors to determine if there's enough evidence or probable cause to indict an individual for crime. A quorum for business is generally 16 members, at least 12 most vote to indict for charges to be brought. So these are by your jurisdiction, but it's typically 16 to 23 members. These are the people that the jury that is already going to be handpicked, right? So they're going to go, what they're going to do is they're going to say, hey, we got this crime. This is why the DA is working hard to get all she needs. We got this crime, right? Like, you know, I want to talk to y'all. I thought this was jury, but no, I'm sorry. Grand jury people. My bad, y'all. I'm giving out false information. Hold on. Let me explain to y'all who it is, because I don't want to give y'all nothing wrong. Okay, so group of citizens. I said that. Okay, cool. There are people that basically they're a group of citizens that investigates criminal activity in civil matters, determine if there's enough to formally accuse someone of a crime or to report on a local. In criminal cases, a grand jury decides whether to issue, right? So these are the people, like your local citizens. They're gonna do, once they say, hey, they're gonna sit them down and have a discussion. And this how they're gonna pick their jury as well. So I want you to pay attention. So like I said, these are your teachers and whoever, these are your taxpayer citizens, right? So hey, we got this case, blase squaze, they're gonna take it to trial. It's already been known, they're gonna do the charge, whatever, right? Yeah, you know, this case, I don't feel like that's right. No, I can't do it because of such and such. Well, they're gonna ask you first, do you stay in the state of this how they pick them? Do you stay in the state of Illinois? No, I stay down there. So, okay, nope, can't have them move. How do you feel about such and such? Oh, depends on the answer. Yeah, can't choose you. Let's go. That is how it goes. So that is how that works. That's who they're going to pick to come off from work and get paid. Let me play another video. That's how that goes. Let me find it because she has some more stuff. That's how that works. These are when you get subpoenaed to say, hey, we want you to be at this court date. That's who they're picking you. You the one that made the decisions. You the one that's going to see if they fix or not. I'm gonna play one more. Okay, let me share my screen, then we're gonna get up out of here.
Part 4 of me talking about the grand jury process and the Romeka Meeks case. So someone asked what happens if a true bill, which is also known as an indictment, is returned for Quadesia for certain charges. So what will happen is then formal charges will be filed in the court. And after the formal charges are filed, the indictment is unsealed, which means that it can be viewed by the public, and an arrest warrant will be issued for Quadesia's arrest. Now, in many high-profile cases, I'm sure you guys know, sometimes they will have their attorney negotiate them turning themselves in rather than having the police just go out there and look for them. So I'm sure since the family has already stated that they have an attorney who is obviously representing Quadesia's interests, should a true bill be returned, I'm sure that her attorney will try to schedule some sort of surrender date and time where she would walk into the local police department where the warrant is being held and turn herself in to face those charges. And yeah, that's pretty much how that would go. So if she is in fact indicted and a true bill is returned, those charges will be filed in court. That warrant will come out. That indictment will be unsealed, y'all. So talk to me down in the comments. What do you think? If she is indicted, it is going to set an uproar. People are going to be happy, and I'm sure her family is not going to be happy if she is in fact indicted. Come back for part 5. In part 5, I want to talk to you guys about her first hearing if she's indicted, a pretrial process leading up to a trial, what goes on during the pretrial process, and what we can expect as far as bail and different things like that. Because just because you're arrested for something doesn't mean that you are not entitled to a bail. So depending upon the charges and what the judge decides to do, we could talk about bail. So guys, get down in the comments. How are we feeling about the potential of Quadeja being indicted? And aren't we ready to see if she is indicted so we could take a look at that daggone indictment and I could break it down right here for y'all in real time. So let's talk about it in the comments. Bye, guys.
I'm waiting on it whenever they do it too, because y'all know I'm finna go to it. Because y'all know I'm going to it. Now, I don't know how long it took for Thompson to be indicted. I don't think it took that long. But listen, that is the breakdown of what's going on. So, another thing, what was I going to say? And I just had a brain fart. I will say this. They probably are getting what they need to. I don't even know how to. Hold on. Let me look at my thing. Cause I'm gonna have to go on my phone. I'm about to get off though, but next time I come back on, you sure can. I'll be back on tomorrow. But I can say this. It was coming. Y'all gotta pay attention to, and I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna get off, how people are in chat saying things they're not supposed to say. And I'm telling y'all to pay attention to that. I've been saying that. And we already called out a lot of things. We have. But I will say this. I agree with keep saying her name. Old girl is going to get in trouble. I'm sorry. It's right there, black and white. And if I was her lawyer, I would just tell her, because whatever they have, the lawyer got to look at. He got to talk to her about it. If I was her lawyer, I would tell her, either you take a plea deal. If you don't, this is not going to go in your favor. And that's all I got to say. It's not. We just saw every example of this. It's not. All right, y'all. I'm finna get off here. I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to try to contact this lawyer because I do want her to come on the panel and discuss it. And then I'm going to try to talk to the girl on TikTok, see if we can get her on here tomorrow. But yeah, I'm going to try to holler at her. And then I'm going to have people come up and say how they feel tomorrow, not today. I'm going to let everybody else go live because I know they're still going to come back live. And you might catch me on other panels. But yes, I will discuss it tomorrow. And I have everybody. I'll drop the link and you guys can come up. All right. I want to thank you guys for watching. We can get to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you later. Bye.
It's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I'm a woman, phenomenally.
Birds singing in the dead of night. Take these broken